we're going to take them.
And they got a little nervous about him because of the leg, but I don't think anybody told him that he had something wrong with his leg, because the way he played, he was just tremendous. Had great workouts for people, and so I think he's a consideration.
When you look at film and you watch him work out, a lot of us like to have an ACL problem like he has. Great player.
It has to be a concern, but I don't think there's a chance we'd pass him up.
A concern, but he's hard-nosed, and if he has a knee problem, scouts rate him faster than Emmitt Smith, faster than Thurman Thomas, who, oh, by the way, had a knee problem coming out of Oklahoma State. That's the last we've heard of it, as he's excelled with the Buffalo Bills. Mel, is Garrison Hurst as good as we've seen?
It's a tremendous football player, Chris. When you watch Garrison Hurst, you see a guy with game-breaking skills, tremendous hands, and really break the long gainer at any point in time. You see the size, solid 200-pounder, electrifying, sets up defenders, and really has that ability to stop, change direction, and then really turn on the jets and go all the way for the touchdown. Watch him here, the way he sets up the defensive back, leaves him behind, off to the race, and outrun even the fastest defensive backs, the pay dirt. Here you see him catching the football with his hands down the field. Then he goes all the way, sprints past the safety. There's a cornerback, puts a move there. He's gone. Like I said, his individual workout in February is really what did it for Garrison Hurst. When he worked out in late February, he ran a 4.33 and a 4.38, and all of a sudden, the talk of the knee injury was gone. I think teams at that point said, hey, his individual workout was better than Barry Sanders, he's faster than Emmitt Smith, he's faster than Thurman Thomas, and all of a sudden, he was recatapulted up into the early portion of the first round. After when that injury was diagnosed, he was looked at as a third-round pick. All of a sudden, he's in the top 5, maybe to the New York Jets.
And that workout was held in about 30-degree weather. It was the Jets, though, that maybe got the tip early on the knee injury, and maybe that's why they're weighing it more than other teams. Let's go down to Chris Mortensen in Philadelphia. Has some word on this. Mort?
Well, that's right, Chris. Before that workout, he went to the Indianapolis Scouting Combine for a physical, and 6 stations of doctors that examine you. He passed the first 5 stations. In the 6th station, I think the Jets doctor was there, and they noticed some looseness in that left knee and ordered an MRI, and they came up with this partial tear of the ACL. But since then, independent doctors have said, hey, this is normal for him. He's never missed a practice, never missed a game. People would be foolish not to take this guy.
All right, Mort, thank you. One thing we can say about the Jets, now remember, the deadline for tendering an offer sheet to restricted free agents was Friday at midnight. They tried late to get Chris Warren from Seattle matched, to get Derek Fenner, the former Seahawk, now Bengal, the Bengals matched. They probably would have offered every running back that ever played for Seattle, Kurt Warner, but I don't think they went that far. I do know this, though. The Jets, this wasn't a scared move. That they didn't go overboard with money, very nice contracts. What I'm trying to say is these weren't offers that they thought that the teams, Cincinnati and Seattle, wouldn't match. Therefore, we shouldn't necessarily view these moves as a tip-off that they're going for Garrison Hurst. The longer they sit on the pick, the longer I have a feeling that as it ends, and we have less than a minute now for the Jets to make a pick. You get a running back up. Trade. Here's the details from the trade. So we got to think Rams. The more you think you know, the less you realize you know. Well, that's the trade desk. Now, you see, that's a little different than Jim Steig.
45 seconds left in the...
Now, we heard the word trade, did we not? But yet, we are holding. That's the trade desk. You see, it's a two-tiered desk.
30 seconds remaining.
And of course, many a Jet fan up on the balcony, waiting since daylight this morning. There aren't many seats up here for the gallery gods, and these folks are eager with their clipboards. And
15 seconds
is that
remaining.
a Mel Kiper book I see there? It's blue. That's my goodness, Mel. Well, the time is
5
running.
seconds.
Marvin Jones, Garrett Hurst. Here comes the pick. The suspense is killing us, guys. Looks looks like a trade by the way that they're huddled over that, unless somebody drafted.
You think it's killing us? How about Marvin Jones?
That's right.
That poor kid
Well,
going leaps and bounds, as well as Garrison Hurst, because those are the two guys that were projected into this spot.
The New York Jets traded their choice to the Phoenix Cardinals. With the choice obtained from the Jets, Phoenix selects Garrison Hurst, running back, Georgia. The Jets are now on the clock, making the next selection.
Well, obviously, there are some terms to that deal that we don't know about. Because to move up one slot, what kind of choice did the Jets elicit? Now, they could still get exactly who they want, or they could trade down another slot or two and maybe get defensive linemen. Well, Gary Danielson is in Phoenix, and there are a lot of sweaty palms, Gary, but the Cardinals got their man.
Well, they really did, Chris, and this is the guy they really had their eyes on. I mean, here's a football team that is a star away, they think, from challenging to into the playoff spot. You know, the Eastern Division isn't quite as possible. They think they could overtake the Giants, get in there and fight for a playoff spot, and they needed a star player in this city to play. Hey, you know, Charles Barkley's here now, and to attract the fans here to watch football, they needed a guy like Garrison Hurst. Larry Wilson told me yesterday that he wouldn't just sit idly by and watch Garrison Hurst go off the board, and they made the move. Let me show you the reaction in our draft cam when the trade was taking place. You're going to have Bob Ackles and Larry Wilson reacting to the trade that happens, and they were very pleased to get the man they wanted in this situation, Garrison Hurst. And there was clapping and shaking hands and all the different reactions that players have and coaches have when they accomplish something in a very big day. So Garrison Hurst is the man, and they got him by moving up and swapping with the Jets. Chris?
All right, Gary, so the Phoenix Cardinals making some draft day maneuvers. Usually that's bad news for Cardinal fans, but this time it looks like they got themselves one heck of a player. For details on the trade, let's head back up
on
to the podium.
The trade for the Jets pick to Phoenix. The two clubs, in effect, switched positions in the first round, and Phoenix traded to the Jets Johnny Johnson, Phoenix running back.
Johnson, a disappointing sophomore year, but as a rookie 2 years ago was a Pro Bowl running back. The Jets have their back, and they still the pick. We'll be back.
If this is how you think of Volvos, we may have the car to change your thinking. The Volvo 850 GLT.
You are here. He has the traveler's checks here. There's got to be a better way. Here's one now. American Express traveler's checks for two. The only checks either of you can use. Don't leave home without them.
C-Spot. C-Spot Run. C-Spot. C-Spot Stay. Introducing something better. The world's first foam protectant. It's a foam, so it stays where it's sprayed. No running, no dripping. It deeply cleans, shines, and protects without the mess. So why use an ordinary protectant? Try something better, the protectant with staying power.
Welcome back to the Marriott Marquis, and that's Carpet Cam as it zips up and finds us wheeling and dealing. And gentlemen, we are only 3 picks in. Johnny Johnson, Pro Bowler 2 years ago. Last year rushed for just 734 yards, but obviously young. Obviously the Jets get it back, and a powerful back when he's on. It's the last year of his contract, but the Jets have shown they have some dollars and they are players. Meanwhile, the Cardinals get Garrison Hurst. They have about 60,000 empty seats every game. Now all of a sudden that number has come down a little bit. Let's go to the head coach of the Phoenix Cardinals, Joe Bugle, who's with our Gary Danielson. Guys?
Yeah, I think that's the case. Joe Bugle, a real happy man right now. You got your man.
Got the great runner. We felt the best player in the draft. So we're just tickled to death here in Phoenix.
You guys were happy the 2 quarterbacks went off the board early, didn't you?
It fell the way we wanted it to fall right there, and we definitely wanted Garrison Hurst. We were going to do anything we could in our power to get that young man because because he is truly a great football player.
What can he do for your football team?
Score touchdowns.
Well, that's the object. You know, well, hold on a second, Coach. I'm having a little problem. Now, I was in Atlanta the last couple years dealing with your friend Jerry Glanville, and he always wore shades. I'm not used to, you know, talking with the coaches without shades now.
Right now, Gary, I'll do anything, all right?
All right, tell me what happened. There was some rumors that it was the 20th pick in your first-round pick. Was that ever considered?
No, never.
Too much?
Never.
You have 2 more picks. You'd like to get,
picks.
what will you be looking for with those 2 picks?
Oh, best player on the board at that time. Maybe offense and maybe defense.
All right, the injury to Garrison Hurst. I'll zero in on Garrison. The injury, was that any factor at all?
No, because every one of the doctors, and our doctors especially, approved that and said there's nothing wrong with that young man. We're going to score touchdowns. Now we have to throw the ball 48 times to Gary Clark and give this guy 48 times. We'll be all right.
Happy man here down in Tempe, Chris. Back to you.
All right, Gary and his smiling Bugs, that's for sure. And I love the way he gave away that next pick. Could be offense, could be defense. Best player on the board. That's the first time we've heard that today. The first of about 50 times. By the way, the Cardinals, this is just for a change, the Phoenix Cardinals have a lot of positives coming out of their camp in the offseason. Yes, they lost Tim McDonald to the San Francisco 49ers, their Pro Bowl safety, but Steve Berline is now their quarterback. Gary Clark, Pro Bowl wide receiver from the Redskins, is their wide receiver. And they get Chuck Cecil, who made the Pro Bowl last year, to kind of step in McDonald's shoes. And they got John Shake Your Booty from the Eagles, the former Jet, to play some corner. So the Phoenix Cardinals, at least, guys, are making moves in a division where, admittedly, the Super Bowl champions reside, the Dallas Cowboys. But maybe the Eagles down a little, maybe the Skins down a little. For a change, maybe time for the Cards to make a little movement, Joe.
Well, Chris, you're absolutely right. And what they've done is they're making the movement not only on the field, but they're going to make the movement as far as fan support. And that's important to players. They want to go someplace where people are excited about the game. Phoenix now is getting real excited about football. The 2 key acquisitions, obviously Garrison Hurst. Johnny Johnson was a little bit of a moody player, they felt. They didn't know quite whether he was going to show up. They didn't know what mood he was going to be in. So they're sort of getting rid of what they consider a little bit of a problem. Also in the last year of his contract, Garrison Hurst has got to be excited. Gary Clark gives him a big-time wide receiver. Steve Berline gives him a steady quarterback who has had Super Bowl experience, came in and filled. Remember, a couple of years ago for Troy Aikman, did a great job getting them to the respectability to the next level of the Super Bowl this past year. They're really building their offense. They feel like they've got a huge defensive line. They're going to be real solid. Rich Camarillo, best punter in football. Good kicking game, good defense, explosive offense. Look out, world. Here come the Cardinals.
Here come the Cardinals. So Drew Bledsoe, Rick Meyer, Garrison Hurst. The first time we've had offense in the draft since '89. Aikman, tremendous. Tony Mandarich,
gone.
And Barry Sanders. 2 out of 3 ain't bad, as Meatloaf once sang. Does Marvin Jones become a Jet, or do the Jets go down again to get a defensive lineman? We'll return.
Up on the roof, when this whole world starts getting me down, and people are just too much for me to face, I climb way up to the top of the stairs, and all my cares just drift right into space. I get away from the hustling crowd and all that rat race noise down in the street. On the only place I know.
New Club World. Let all your cares drift right into space.
So